The following is a lecture on the Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, Text number 15, Ajamil Akhyan, Uprooting Sinful Reactions, Day 1, given by Shriman KratuDas Adhikari, recorded on August 26th, 2010, in Denver, Colorado.
On this particular topic of Ajamil, Srila Prabhupada gave several lectures, more than 15 or so. It's a very instructive katha, and if one takes it to the heart, then there will not be any lacking of one's spiritual advancement, guaranteed. So, up to 5th canto, several things has been narrated by Srila Sukadeva Goswami, like Srishti, creation, and many others. Now, starting from here, 6th canto, Srila Sukadeva Goswami is about to narrate portion. This material world is not a place for eternal condemnation. There are way out, and amongst there is very easy and topmost, simple and sublime way out, which is narrated in this Ajamil Katha. So, portion means this material world is designed by Lord for the souls who are envious of Krishna. That is why you are the only enjoyer. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasham. You are the only enjoyer. Why? I am also enjoyer. Ishvaro aham bhogi. I am also bhogi, bhokta. Krishna says, I am bhokta. So there cannot be two kings in a kingdom. So then Krishna says, okay, I am the king in here. You go to the material world and become a king of your own. And you become bhokta. So there is very little bhokta here, very little bhogya, very little bhog, very little to enjoy. More suffering, 99% suffering and 1%. Why is that so? Because Krishna wants to reform condition, living entity, reformation. So this place is full of suffering. Why? Because it is meant for reforming conditioned living entity. What is that reformation? That Krishna is the only enjoyer and I am meant to give him pleasure. This is reformation. Prabhupada gives a very simple example to understand this simple fact. That is, whatever I create, that is meant for my pleasure. I create money, house, car, children, anything that I create, it is meant for my pleasure. So then, same thing with Krishna. Whatever Krishna creates, it has to be for his enjoyment. It has to be. I create my enjoyment. And he creates for my enjoyment. Problem. That's why this material world. You go there. I am the only bhakta. I created, and whatsoever I created, it is meant for my pleasure. Krishna says that. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasham Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sruhat Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Santim Prichyati. Krishna is Bhokta of his creation, like we are Bhokta of our creation. So naturally he is. So everything, eminent and inanimate, is created by him. Isavashyam idam sarvam yat kinchit jagatam jagat ena tyaktena bhunjita magradakasya siddhanam. Everything, eminent and inanimate, is created by him. And that's why everything that he created has to be for his enjoyment. And we, conditioned living entity, come into his way saying, why you are the only enjoyer? I am also the enjoyer. So immediately problem. So then spiritual world, we are forced into material world. It is nothing but dukkha, dukkhalayam, asasvatam, janma mrityu jara vyadi, dukkha doshanu darshanam. This is a description of this world. Dukkhalaya. It is dukkhalaya. So then Krishna says, okay, fine, I'm putting you in this dukkhalaya, material world, but there is portion, there is way out. There are certain points which you touch, you can be reclaimed immediately and come back to the spiritual world. So that is portion, no eternal condemnation. So these chapters, 3 chapters, are number 1 in portion. In reclamation, number 1. Holy name can reclaim you. A guru can reclaim you. A sadhu can reclaim you. A deity of the Lord can reclaim you. Vrindavan, Dwarika, holy dham of the Lord can reclaim you. Many different things by which we can be reclaimed, called portion. And reclaim is going back to home, back to Godhead, with baja, band, with celebration, with full har, with, nice deck with beautiful clothes. You go back to Krishna Loka. It's very joyful. Krishna, Vishnu Duta, Krishna Duta. Krishna's devotees, they come to get you. And over there in spiritual world also, celebration. One spirit soul came back. Big celebration. Big celebration. Portion. This is portion. So this is what we are about to start. One beautiful way of going back to home, back to God, portion, or reclaiming. One beautiful way by which we can be reclaimed. Ajamil is just said in Nama Bhash by Sanket to his son, Lord's holy name, Narayan. And he was reclaimed by Vishnu Dut. He was reclaimed. So that is what we are starting. So we'll start with the 6th sloka, if you have Bhagavad. Aduneha mahabhaga yathaiva naraka naraha nana ugra yatnayet tanme vyakhyatum arhasi. Translation. O greatly fortunate and opulent Sukadeva Goswami, now kindly tell me how human beings may be saved from having to enter hellish conditions in which they suffer terrible pains. So Sukadeva Goswami is asked question by Parikshit Maharaj that please describe me the hellish region where various kind of distresses being experienced, being suffered by living entity. So there are different hell in this material creation, more hellish condition. Here on earth planet, the happiness and distress are having some balance, not too extreme. You can balance here. But in hellish, in Narak Loka, there is nothing but suffering. And in Swarga Loka, very less amount of suffering, more enjoyment. So he is saying Narakan Naraha and Yatana, Nana Ugra Yatana, Ugra Yatana, Ugra Yatana, more distressful. So please describe me this Narkalok. So he had already described in previous fifth canto at the end different nark. So shall you reap. Whatever you do, you will have to either enjoy or suffer. Whatever you do. You are responsible for your deeds. So there are so many hells, different hells. But just to give you some glimpse of it, that if you eat meat, mas bhakshan, and there is a Kumbipak nark. Kumbipak nark. It is like a big, huge whack of oil, Lake Michigan, or Ozark Lake, or whatever. Big, huge lake kind of, or bigger than that even. Oil broiling, and from top, torching heat. And in this kind of broiling oil, you are thrown if you eat meat, especially cow's meat, especially. Of course, any meat, because you are not human beings by nature prasaditarian. They should eat only prasad, patram puspam phalam toyam. But they eat all kind of abominable things. So there is a severe punishment for that. You will be fried, practically broiled into big hole, big whack. And you want to get out with your subtle body. There is a subtle body, a gross body. Gross body you leave behind here. And with your subtle body and karanade and sukshmade. Subtle body and causal body. Karanade. You go there and you suffer. You want to get out of that, and Yamdutas, they with their trident, they will put you back into it, or push you, poke you. Yatana, nana yatana. What kind of yatana? The word used is ugra yatana. Ugra. Yatana means distress, and ugra yatana means very intense, distressful condition. It is stated that if you kill a cow and eat flesh, then whatever number of hairs there are on cow's body, that many times you have to become cow, and the same cow will kill you. Same cow will kill you. Yeah, any another person will kill you. So this is hellish condition, meat eating. And avaida sambandh means illicit connection, illicit sex. So you go to Tapta Surmi Nark. Tapta Surmi Nark, there you are forced to embrace red hot murti form of opposite sex, opposite gender. You are forced like hollowed statue from within, torching heat by gas and whatever, torching heat inside. And you are forced to embrace the beautiful statue form of man or woman. Because this is very bad sin to have illicit connection with other person. And if you drink liquor or beer or whatever, intoxication, gross intoxication, then Yaha Pan Nark, where they force open your jaw and they pour red hot iron into your mouth because you want to drink. So here is a drink for you, red hot iron. And if you harass devotees of the Lord or Brahmins, if you harass them, then there is a nark called Sukarmukh nark, like sugar cane. You take out sugarcane juice, so you put it through in between two wheels, and they put you between these two wheels. You get smooshed again and again. That is severe punishment if you harass devotees or Brahmins unnecessary. Very severe punishment. So there are so many nark like this. More than 50, 60 nark. Different nark. I don't think we have enough time to describe them all. But just to run through, there is a big, huge hot plate for, toasting, roasting. Big, huge Colorado kind of, state kind of hot plate. Underneath there is so much heat and torching it on top, and they throw you on that hot plate. And there is a big, huge lake of pus and the kida, pus, worms, so many worms in there, so many insects, and they throw you in that pus lake. These worms, they eat you. So many narks like that. So these narks are described just before this chapter. So now he is saying that Nana Yatana, Nana Ugra Yatma, Akhyatum Arasi. Please describe me. So the next sloka 7, Sukadeva Goswami is replying, Nachaidi haiva pachitim yatha saha krutasya kuryan manaukta pranibi dhruvam savai pretya narakanupaiti ye kirtita me bhavatas snigdha yatanaha. So Sukadeva Goswami replied, My dear king, if before one's next death, whatever impious acts one has performed in this life with his mind, words and body are not counteracted through proper atonement, according to the description of the Manu Samhita and other Dharma Shastra, one will certainly enter the hellish planets after death and undergo terrible suffering, as I have previously described to you. So, Dhruvam and Vai Pretya Narakanupaiti, very important. It's not that we will get escape from our sins. Prabhupada says ignorance is no excuse. So, you may say, I didn't meant it, but I kill a cow. I didn't meant it, but I did this. But that ignorance will have no excuse. It will not excuse you. The ignorant child touches fire. I want to touch fire. I want to touch fire. Ignorant. But father says, no, it will not excuse you. You will get burned. But now I want to touch. So same thing here, that Dhruvam, as sure as death, Dhruvam. Whatever sinful activity we may commit, we will have to pay price. We will have to suffer. Dhruvam, Savai, why? Certainly. It is for sure that we will have to suffer. Dhruvam Savai Pretya narkanupayati ekirtita me. So, whatever we do with our mind, words and body, whatever sins we commit, we will have to pay the price. The 8th sloka. Tasmat puraisvaya papaniskruto yattet mrutyur vipadyat atmana dosasya dvastva gurulagavam yatha visak chikitset rujam nidanvit. So Vishak, Chikitsak. So a doctor, he examines and recognizes particular kind of disease. So according to the degree of disease, he treats the patients. So similarly, the reactions of our sins, papani krutau, whatever sins we have committed, krutau, whatever degree of sins we have committed. So according to that degree, we must perform particular atonement, like chikitsak, like doctor. In order to put an end to disease, doctor is giving right medicine of right milligram, right matra, right strength. So we have to atone for that. And when we have to do this, before our body becomes old, because in old body you cannot perform austerity, tapasya or atonement. So before the body gets old, one must atone. There is no way out. And the more you stroll, the more sinful reaction multiplies, like compounding interest. The more you keep your disease, more you don't treat your disease, the disease takes very severe form. Not that, okay, I have this much disease. If I don't treat, it will be remaining at that level. Fire, you have to treat right away. It's not that it will remain whatever size of fire is. Prabhupada says that fire, disease and interest must be treated right away. Otherwise, they will multiply manifold. So this sinful reaction, if you don't atone for sins, then sins multiplies as time goes by. So before the death comes, before the old age comes, we must atone these sins. So then Raja says, King Parikshit says, because here we have to understand that King Parikshit is a very intelligent king and he is qualified disciple. And Guru Sukadeva Goswami is also very elevated personality. And that's why Parikshit Maharaj is asking him again and again until he gets satisfactory answer. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in purport says that in order to bring Sukadeva Goswami to the ultimate point of putting an end to sinful reaction and sins, he is keep asking these questions. So qualification. So Sri Raja Uvacha Drashta Srutabhyam Yat Papam Jnanan Api Atmano Hitam Karoti Bhuyo Vivasha Prayaschittam Yatho Katham. Raja Maharaj Parikshit said, one may know that sinful activity is injurious for him because he actually sees that a criminal is punished by the government. Because he hears from scriptures and learned scholars that one is thrown into hellish condition in the next life for committing sinful act. Nonetheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what is the value of such atonement? What is the value of such atonement? Because he is atoning and again he is performing sinful acts. And again atonement and performing sinful act. Even though he sees that he is put into jail or he is punished or he is beaten up, he sees that. But again he atones and then again committing sins again. So what is the use of this? It is useless. Raja says, Kvachit nirhavartate badrat kvachit charati tat punaha prayaschitam atho partham manye kunjar sauchavat. That kvachit nirvatate badrat. Sometimes he is acting righteously and sometimes he is acting sinful and then atones again and again sinful again, atonement sinful. So what is the use of this? It is just like kunjara sauchavat. An elephant, he goes into the river and takes bath and comes back again on the shore and he throws dust on himself or he rolls into dust. So what is the use of that bath? And again bathing and dirty and bathing and dirty. So what is the use? Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question. Kunjar sochavat, the bathing of an elephant. So now Sukadev Goswami is replying to Parikshit Maharaj that karmana karma nirharo nahi atyantika ishyate avidvat adhikaratvam prayaschitam vimarshanam. Prayaschita vimarshanam. Gyan. Vimarshanam means Gyan, Brahma Gyan. So karmana karma nirharo. Sinful action try to counteract with another pious action in which other sins are involved. Then what is the use of this atonement? Karmana karma nirharo. That you cannot purify liquor by adding more liquor into it. The same thing, karma, with our action, we perform sinful action. And then with another action, we perform piety to counteract that. But in order to do piety also, you have to engage in some kind of action. So what is the use of counteracting karma against karma? Karma kand, basically karma kand. To atone through karma kand means fruitive activities, karma kand. So here Prabhupada says that karma kanda jnana kanda kevala vishera bhanda. So he says karma counteracting with another karma is also no good. I agree with you. He says to Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami. Then he says, better than karma is jnana. Having knowledge, aham brahmasmi, I am spirit soul, and every living entity is spiritual soul. Everything is Brahma. Sarvedam idam khalva Brahma. Everything is Brahma. And what is the ultimate goal of this vimarshanam, Gyan? Ultimate goal is that I am God. I am Brahma. Eko Brahma, Dvitiyo Nasti. There is only one Brahma. And there is no two in Brahma. Eko Brahma, Dvitiyo Nasti. Brahma Gyan. Cow is also Brahma, I am also Brahma. That's why this Brahma can kill that Brahma. Brahma means absolute. Everything is one. Monism. Prabhupada gives an example that wife is a woman, sister, daughter and mother, they all woman. Brahma. They all Brahma. But that doesn't mean that you can have same kind of interaction, relations with all four of them. Gyan. He says the Gyan is better. So, he says that with Gyan, with the torch light of knowledge, you can counteract this sinful reaction. You can come to the knowledge and put an end to sinful life. But ultimately, it leads to another sinful reaction. God has no form. I am God. You are God. Everything is God. Sarvedam idam khalva brahma. So that is also not the ultimate prayaschita. So now Sukadeva Goswami is saying little severe atonement. What is that? He says tapasa brahmacharyena samena damena va tyagena satya socha bhyam yamena niyamena va. He says tapasa brahmacharyena. One should perform austerity. Tapasa. And in order to perform austerity, one must remain celibate. Brahmacharyena. Tapasa brahmacharyena. Prabhupada says there are 8 kind of brahmacharya in his purport. He is saying that there are 8 aspects of brahmacharya. One should not think of woman, speak about sex life. 2, 3, dally with woman. 4, look lustfully at woman. Talk intimately with woman or decide to engage in sexual intercourse. Nor should one endeavor for sex life or engage in sex life. One should not even think of women or look at them, to say nothing of talking with them. This is called first class brahmacharya. So, brahmacharya, tapasa brahmacharya, na. So one must perform austerity by having a vow of celibacy. Tapasa brahmacharya, na. Samena damena va. Samena damena cha, sam and dam. Dam, indriya, senses. To control senses, aankh, kaan, naak, jeev and tvacha. Eyes, nose, ear, tongue and skin. So these 5 knowledge acquiring senses one must control. That is called daman or dam. Tapasa brahmacharyena samena. Sam means to control mind. The mind is the boss or above these 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Tapasa brahmacharyena. So we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Very, very important instructions are going to be discussed throughout. So 5 knowledge acquiring senses, the above indriyani paraniyahur, indriyebhyo paramana. So above indriya, above the knowledge acquiring senses, paramana, mind is above. So this mind is like a boss of these 5 senses. So these 5 knowledge acquiring senses as object of these senses. So when there is matra sparsa, when there is a contact between object of the senses and knowledge acquiring senses, from there some thoughts are being produced, sensation, some stimulant. So those thought is sent into mind, and that constant flow of thought is called mind. Constant flow of thought is called mind. So the more knowledge acquiring senses are having contact with sense object, the more thoughts are created. All five senses sending more quickly. Then the mind becomes so much disturbed, agitated. Mind becomes agitated and disturbed, bechain, because of this constant, vigorous flow of thoughts. But if the senses are engaged in devotion, in some bhakti, then they are very cool, sant, very slow and steady, pure flow of thought comes to the mind, and mind becomes very peaceful, blissful. So this is called samena, damena. In other words, the object of the senses are pure, then the senses will become pure. Aakh, kan, naak, jeev, tvacha will become pure. And when senses and sense object are pure in connection with the Lord, then the thought developed from that will be also pure. And those thoughts, steady flow of thought, comprises mind. So mind will be very peaceful, blissful, transcendental. So this is samena, damena, tapasa, brahmacharyena, samena, damena. To control the senses, to control the mind, samena, damena, satya, tyagena satya sauchabhyam, tyagena, renunciation, tyagena. One must be detached from these material objects, material world. One has to detach himself. Tyagena. Detach means you have to get attached somewhere. So detach from material world and get attached to the spiritual world. Krishna, his devotees, his devotional service. Attach there. Don't create a vacuum that I have renounced everything. So that will not help. Renounce and then accept. Renounce material world, material object, everything material, everything that is not having connection with Krishna, reject. That is tyagena. That is tyag. Hari sambandhi vastuna. And anything that has connection with Krishna, that is called spiritual, and we must get attached to that. So no vacuum. Detach and attach. So that is called tyagena, satya, sauchabhyam. And this will make saucha. Saucha means pavitra, pure, saucha. So spiritual life is a matter of purifying ourselves, purifying our senses, purifying our consciousness, purifying our existence. That is spiritual life. So no vacuum. Tyagena satya sauchabhyam. Sauchabhyam, suchi. To meditate on Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Always remember Radha Krishna. This is saucha. Yat smaret punrikaksham sabhayabhyantara suchi. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. So remembering Krishna is the topmost suchi, saucham, topmost purity. Always remembering Krishna and never forget him. Sabhayabhyantara suchi. Both external and internal suchi. Yat smarit punarikaksham. So, always meditating on Krishna's holy name Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is Suchi, Sauchabhyam. Always remembering Krishna and never forget him. Yasmarit Punrikaksham, Sabhaya Bhyantara Suchi, Tyagena Satya Sauchabhyam, Yamena Niyamena Va, Yam Niyam, Astang Yoga, Dhyan, Dharan and Samadhi. He is prescribing. And then, but this is not the ultimate. That's why Parikshit Maharaj, being an intelligent disciple, he will question further that this is not it. But Sukadeva Goswami is proposing different atonement. First, he proposed that karmana nirharo. And then he said vivarsanam, gyan. It is rejected by King Parikshit. And now he is proposing tapasa brahmacharyena samena damena cha tyagena satya sauchabhyam yamena niyamena va yam niyam. So devag buddhijam dhira dharma gyas hridayanvita kshipantyagam mahadpi venu gulmam ivanalaha. So venu gulmam ivanalaha. King Parikshit is saying that you are proposing all these different processes for atonement, but it is like a temporary patchwork. It is very temporary. How it is temporary? That Venu Gulmam Ivanala. Venu means bass, bamboo. So if you see bamboo trees, there are so many bamboo in one little bundle. And then there are some ankur, some sprouts of this Venu underneath in the root or under the earth. And above this there are so many leaves of bamboo, dry leaves. Ivanala. So when you put fire to these leaves, it burns all the leaves and looks like that everything is burnt and everything is null and void. All sinful reaction, all karma, all sin, prayaschitta, atonement is done. Just like Christian people, they go to the church for that sin and they confess in confectionery in front of priest that I have done, my dear Lord, I have done this sin, please forgive me, and here is that money, and here is that I am asking for pardon, and atonement is done. And again he goes and start eating cow's flesh and drinking Jesus Christ's blood on his birthday. Start sinning again. This is Venu Gulmam Ivanala. So as soon as rain comes, those sprouts of Gulmam, it manifests again. After atonement, sins manifest again. It does not uproot the sinful reaction. The sinful reaction is still there in the heart. Sinful consciousness. It is still there. It is not vanquished. So what is the use of this kind of atonement? Parikshit Maharaj earlier said, Kunjar Sauchavat. It is like a bathing of elephant. You bathe, again do some dirt and again bathing, and dirty, again bathing, dirty. So what is the use? Venu Gulmam Ivan Allah. So again that sprouts will come out. And again that sinful life will start. So no use to this. Real answer he is giving. So actually, Prabhupada says in the purport that Sukadeva Goswami, being a pure devotee and highly elevated soul, could give the answer right away that Sarva Dharman Paritajya Mamekam Saranam Vraja Aham Tvam Swarupapebhyo Moksha Ishyami Mahasucha. I will deliver you from all sinful reaction. Just surrender unto me, that's it. He could have said that. And that's right, it's easy. All sins are null and void once you surrender to Krishna. So Sukadeva Goswami knew these answers. But he didn't right away say it because he wanted to test his disciple. And disciple also did not accept all these answers. He said, he's bathing like an elephant. The leaves are burnt, but those seeds are still there. The ankur, Venu ankur, the bamboo ankur, bamboo sprouts are there underneath. Even though you burn the leaves on the earth, on the ground, it looks like everything is burnt to the ashes. But no, those ankur, those sprouts are under the ground there. It's not destroyed. So both Guru and Sishya, they are eventually coming to the point here, which is the right answer. And maybe we should recite this sloka because it is very important sloka also. So please repeat after me. Kechit, some people, kevalaya bhaktya, by executing unalloyed devotional service. Vasudeva, to Lord Krishna, the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parayana, completely attached only to such service without dependence on austerity, penance, cultivation of knowledge or pious activity. Agam, all kinds of sinful reactions. Dunvanti, destroy. Kartsena, completely, with no possibility that sinful desires will revive. Niharam, fog. Eva, like. Bhaskaraha, the sun. It is Canto 6, Chapter 1 and 15th Sloka. Please recite after me. Kvechet kevalaya bhaktya Vasudeva parayana agam dhunvanti kartyanna niharam eva bhaskara. So, translation. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. Kvachit kevalaya bhaktya. Kevalaya means only. Keval. Kvachit. And very rare soul. Kvachit means some very rare. Kvachit kevalaya bhaktya. Very rare soul. How many devotees? Very rare. Kvachit kevalaya bhaktya. Only by devotional. Keval. Only. Bhaktya. Bhakti. Devotional service to Krishna. Kvachit kevalaya bhaktya Vasudeva parayana. Vasudeva Sri Krishna parayan. Parayan means one's mind, soul, body, words, action, everything is into Krishna consciousness. Parayana, absorb, Parayana. Let's see what Prabhupada says, Parayana. Parayana, completely attached only to such service without dependence on austerity, penance, etc. So, Kevalaya Bhaktya, Parayana, completely attached to Krishna. Completely attached to Krishna. Parayana. Vasudeva Parayana. Kwaschit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayana. Agam Dhunvanti Karsyana. Agam, since. Agam Dhunvanti, destroys. Agam Dhunvanti Karsnena, completely. Sins are completely destroyed. By what? Kwaschit Kevalaya Bhaktya. So, and the example is given here, Niharam Iva Bhaskara. Nihar. Nihar means kohara, means fog. Niharam Eva, certainly. Bhaskara, the sun. Bhaskar, sun. Maybe so much fog, miles and miles away. So much dense fog. But as soon as the rays of sun are entering into the horizon, all the fog gets dissipated immediately. All the fog. So, main function of a sun is not to dissipate the fog. Main function of the sun is to rise so that people can engage in karma, in their duty. And so that sun can give energy to the general populace, living entities. Sun can give that energy, vital energy, light. So sun is rising not for dissipating fog. It is side product, fringe benefit. It is a fringe benefit. In other words, just merely rising of a sun, merely, all fog is gone. So the sin, biggest sin, is so insignificant when you render devotional service to Krishna. The purpose of rendering devotional service to Krishna is to reawaken our pure love for Krishna, is to become pure lover of Krishna, is to have Krishna love get attracted to us. That is the purpose of Kevalaya Bhaktya, Bhakti. But in doing so, automatically this insignificant, greatest amount of sins can destroyed immediately. That is not the main function of pure devotional service. It is a side product. Automatically all the sins will run away. All the sinful reaction will be finished, null and void. By what? Devotional service to Lord Krishna. Vasudeva Parayana. Kwaschit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayana. Agam Dhunvanti Karsena Nihareva Bhaskara. So, this is the most important way one can get rid of all sinful reaction. No hellish region, no hellish planet for him. Kaschit Kevalaya Bhaktya. So what is a bhakti? Kaschit Keval Bhakti. Jnana Misra Bhakti, Karma Misra Bhakti, no Misra. Keval, Kevalaya. No mixture. Unalloyed, transcendental, loving, devotional service to Krishna. That is called Kevala Bhakti. No mixture. This demigod, that demigod, or this demigoddess, or this object. I want wife or husband, beautiful wife, beautiful husband. or empire or mixture. No mixture. Ahaituki apratihata. Kevalaya bhaktya. Only devotional service. The definition of bhakti, kevala bhakti, pure bhakti, is defined by Rupa Goswami. This morning I was reading in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I think it is 11th, first chapter, 11th sloka. First chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the book on bhakti that is written by Srila Rupa Goswami. No Acharya has written parallel to this scripture, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It is topmost. Even today, it is recognized by biggest elevated acharyas in India. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the topmost literature on bhakti. Topmost. And very first beginning is defining Bhakti Rasamrita. Sindhu means bhakti must be defined first. So it's defining bhakti. It says Anya Abhilasha Sunya. Kevalaya Bhaktya means Anya Abhilasha Sunya. Jnana Karmad Anavrutam. Or no Jnana Misra Bhakti. No Karma Misra Bhakti. Jnana Karmad Adi. Jnana Karma Adi. No mixture. Money or Swarga, ya this, no mixture. Jnana karmad anavrutam. Anavrutam. Rejecting. So what is Sudha Bhakti? That Anya Abhilasha. Sunya. Anya means Ek Abhilasha. And Anya Abhilasha Sunya. Ek Abhilasha, that is Bhakti. Anya Abhilasita Sunyam. Jnana karma adanavrutam. Jnana and karma rejecting. No mixture with bhakti. Jnana karma anavrutam. Anukulena Krishna anusilan. Krishna anusilan. Krishna's service. Rendering transcendental, loving, devotional service unto Krishna. That is Anukulena Krishna anusilan. Anusilam. Anukul, Pratikul. If Krishna wants water and we give him milk, that is not Anukul. He wants water, we must give him water. Prabhupada gives this example. That I want water and you bring, oh, milk is better for you, Prabhupada. No, that is not Anukul Bhakti. I want water, give me water. So that is Anukulena Krishna Anusilan. Serving, Anusilan. Anusilan means not just serving. Anusilan means sevan. Sevan means everything. Serving plus much more. That is called Anusilan. Serving Krishna plus much more. That is called Anusilan. So Krishna Anusilan. Anukulena Krishna Anusilanam Bhaktir Uttama. This is the pure devotional service. So that is Kevalaya Bhaktya. And one must be Vasudev Parayan. Just like we are right now Maya Parayan. 24 hours. Nothing but Maya. Maya Parayan. So much absorbed in Maya. We are so much absorbed in Maya. If I tell you that this is not your wife, please understand this is not your husband. Please understand. You both is living entity, spirit, soul. Both of you belong to Krishna. Your sambandh is not both of you. Your sambandh is with Krishna. Nobody will understand. Nobody will want to accept that. But it is a fact. So this is called Maya Parayana. Maya Parayana. Absorb in Maya. My son, my daughter, my house, my money, my job, my body, my. We are absorbed is called Maya Parayana. So that much absorption, if we have in Krishna, that is called Vasudeva Parayana. Absorption. Mere to Giradhara Gopal दूसरो न कोई भाई छाड़ा बंधु छाड़ा छाड़ा सगा सोई मेरे तो गिरधर गोपा दूसरो न कोई परणु तो प्रीतम प्यारो अखंड सौभाग्य मारो रंडावानो भय तड़्यो रे. If I want to marry, then I would like to marry to Krishna, because Krishna doesn't die. And that's why my Saubhagya, my Simant will remain forever, because he doesn't die. Why should I marry to that person who is going to die? Parnu to pritama pyaro, akhanda saubhagya maru, randavano bhaya tadure. So this is Krishna Parayan, Vasudev Parayan. Krishna, 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 Krishna hai. और कुछ नहीं, ओनली कृष्ण. शून्यायतम जगत सर्वम, शून्यायतम जगत सर्वम गोविंद विरहेन में. In loving separation from Krishna, all this jagat becomes sunya, has no meaning to me of any kind, no meaning to this jagat. Maya Parayana, Jagat Parayana. This is Jagat Parayana. No meaning of any kind. This is Vasudeva Parayana. Sat Goswamis, Vasudeva Parayana. They gave up big empire. They were like almost king, Chota king. Sakar Malik means small king. He was king, Sanatan Goswami. But rejected whole big attalika, big mahal, big palaces, big riches and servants, wife, children, everything they left. And Vasudeva Parayana, only Vasudeva, only Vasudeva. That is Vasudeva Parayana. So Agam Dunvanti Karsen, Agam, Pap, the sin, Dunvanti Karsen, immediately, completely finished. If you are in Vasudeva Parayana. Kevalaya Bhaktya. A nice example is given here, and that is Niharam Eva Bhaskara. The fog becomes dissipated. Immediately gets dissipated. Fog is finished. Just because the sun has appeared in horizon. So this bhakti, Keval Bhakti is so powerful. It is so powerful that it can attract the most powerful. Krishna Akarshini Cha. Pure devotional service even attracts Krishna towards bhakta, towards devotee who is performing pure, unalloyed devotional service. It attracts Krishna. Where is the question of papa? It is long gone and long forgotten. How can you imagine Meera or Rupa Ganathan Goswami, Jiva Goswami will commit any kind of little insignificant sin? A little bit that Rupa Goswami committed, that unknowingly he laughed when that Pangu Vaishnava was passing by. It's a story. So little. But even though he made a big, huge arrangement for atonement, he didn't offend that Pangu. He was meditating on Krishna and Radharani. And Radharani, she was hanging onto the branch of a tree because Krishna relieved the branch. And she just holding that branch and went up, Radharani. Rupa Goswami meditating on this beautiful pastime of Radha Krishna. And because Radharani just went up, he just laughed. And same time that limpy Vaishnava was passing. So he thought that he's laughing at me because I'm crippled. He didn't laugh at him. But unknowingly, even though unknowingly he offended that Vaishnava, He called whole Vrindavan for prasad. Rupa Goswami called. Just to atone. What kind of sin a devotee who is Kevalaya Bhakta, Keval Bhakta and Vasudev Parayana, always Vasudev Parayana, what kind of sin he will ever think of committing? So that is root, that Venugulmam Iva Nala. All the sins roots are uprooted by pure devotees. There is not even in the consciousness to commit sin. There is no conception in consciousness to commit any kind of sins. Kevalaya. So it is long gone. This bhakti can bring you to the stage where you will never think of committing any sin. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.